my name is Anne, and welcome to a Tobyknits episode 107. What is Tobyknits, and where is Toby? Yes, well, you might well ask, so I'll tell you. Tobyknits is my YouTube channel, and on Mondays I talk about knitting, sometimes crochet. On Wednesdays I talk about cross stitch, my first love. And on Fridays, I talk about quilty fun, which is a new love. Knitting has been in my life forever. My grandmother, who lived next door to me in Liverpool, England, taught me how to knit when I was very young. My mother couldn't knit. I think that really upset my grandmother. But my mother couldn't knit because she was left-handed, and my nan had a really hard time explaining her how to do it. So I was the one. I was challenged to continue on the knitting. I think I'm the only one in my family that does. None of my cousins do, I don't think. No, I don't think they do. I think it's just me. Anyway, that's fine. Not a worry. Yes, so that's what we're talking about today. Today, actually, for me, is Sunday. I typically record the day before each of my podcasts air so that I can edit and stuff and throw in pictures if you need some extra stuff. I'm hoping once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to, YouTube will let me do a live video. So at which point we can have some knitting sessions together. So that'll be fun. Anyway, yesterday was Saturday, of course, for me. And Liverpool were playing in the FA Cup final, and all my returning viewers will know how much I love my football and my Formula One. And my football team is Liverpool, which is where I'm from in England. I was born there and came to Canada and was 25. So I do not use my Liverpool accent because you wouldn't be able to understand me and would just not actually listen to the words I'm saying, more how I'm saying it. And even my husband couldn't understand me when I first met him. He's Canadian, and we did sign language almost for the first 6 months of our relationship. It was quite funny, and then in the end it was just easier for me to just blend in with all the other Canadians. And let's face it, I've been here now 40 odd years, so I'm probably more Canadian than I am Scouse. Although they do say you can take, how's it going now? You can take the girl out of Liverpool, but you can't take Liverpool out of the girl. Yes. Anyway, so let's get on with our knitting for today. And yes, they did win the FA Cup. Just in case you needed to know that, well, just in case. Anyway, okay, let's get on with the knitting. So the way I do my knitting and my cross stitch is I allocate an evening a week for a project. That way I can get more done and feel more accomplished. And I know each night what I'm going to work on, because I cannot sit and watch the tally without either knitting or cross stitch. I can't do it. I would fall asleep in a minute. I would be bored to tears. So I always have my nice cup of tea and my project on my lap. And, oh, I didn't tell you about Toby, did I? Don't worry. He's still around. This was him yesterday watching me watching the football game, because he doesn't like it when I yell. Sometimes the ref is wrong. What can I tell you? So, anyway, but he does not like the basement. And I have moved my craft room down to the basement, and he doesn't like it down here. So he will not come down with me. If I do bring him down, he struggles to get out of my arms and then runs back upstairs. So it's pointless. So Toby probably won't be doing any introductions on the Tobyknits videos, but I will put a picture of him in now and again so you can just see how he's getting on. Anyway, all that being said, I've gone off topic here about 5 times. Has anybody noticed that? I think it's a squirrel mentality. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get on. I'm boring myself now. So Tuesdays, I knit on the mitered square blanket and or triangulum blanket. The mitered square blanket, there are loads and loads of, it's not a pattern that I'm following. There are loads and loads of different things on YouTube of how to knit one. I even made a video, months and months ago, where I showed you how to attach the first one to the second one and so on. So this is my mitered square blanket, and I use scraps of yarn, actually mini skeins for the most part. And the ones here were from a advent calendar, left over from an advent calendar from about 3 years ago. So I started with them while I was waiting for my mixtape minis to arrive from Ellie of Craft House Magic. Oh, excuse me. I was getting all excited there telling you about my mixtape minis. So every month I get 5 skeins of minis, which are 20-gram skeins of yarn. And they're all different colors, and that she always gives them a song title, which is really cool. So these were the January colors. Which way did they start? Here. These were the January colors. I don't really think they start in any order, but this is how I put them in. So they're all kind of like blues, which for me in Canada is how I feel in January, blue and gray. And then in February, it was these greens, which I'm guessing she was kind of going for a springy color, because it's not spring here yet. Still isn't spring. Well, it is, but nothing growing. And then this was the colors for March. And there is this one. This is the one I just did the other day. It's very pretty. It's a very pale blue. I actually wouldn't mind a bedroom painted that color. It's like a bluey white. So this is the mitered square blanket, and you do each square as you're going. That's the back, just in case you wanted to know how it works. And basically you pick up, let me see, how do I do this? Yeah, so I pick up 24 stitches here, one right on this middle, in the middle here, and then 24 stitches along here. So you have 49 stitches on your needle. I use a 2.75, and I actually use a DPN, and I stick a stopper, like a pen stopper, on the top of them so that they don't come off. So they're like little mini needles. And you just keep doing that all the way to the end. And I really have liked doing this. I was absolutely obsessed with them when I first started, because it was so exciting to do another color, and then the white, then another color. And you'll also know if you're new. Well, if you're not new, you won't know. You'll know if you're not new. Oh my God, what am I trying to say? If you're new, you won't know. But if you're new, you will know. I love white. I love white in everything I knit or crochet or cross stitch. It just, to me, pops the color. So I'm really enjoying this one. It's going to be lovely. And I think my daughter-in-law's got her eye on it for a new baby blanket. They're due in June. So not long now. Grandbaby number 3. So that is the mitered square. And actually, Ellie from Craft House Magic, I think she has a little series on how to knit a mitered square. So you may want to pop over and watch that. Then what I'm doing with her minis is I'm trying to make them last and all go. I don't want any leftover bits. So I do a mitered square. Then I've been doing this, which is the Triangulum Blanket from Ellie of Craft House Magic. She did this last December for her mini advents that you could buy. I didn't buy them, but I bought the pattern. And So these again were the January colors, and obviously I have to use one color twice in each flower, if you want to call it a flower, because there are 6 petals, not 5. And then I've been separating them with white. But again, you can see, if you look, there's another flower. Then there's the green. And then there's the pink. These are all the colors for March. Couldn't think what month then. So this one is a dark pink, a pink with gray, a pale pink, which I used twice. This is actually a blue, that blue I showed you, and then a green. And then here's my in-betweeners, the white. And this is the start of the April. I'm having a hard time this morning remembering what I'm trying to say. So these are the start of April. And these are nearly all, what do you call that when they're not like a plain color? They're, I don't know, I forget. It does have a word. If you know what it is, put it below in the comments, because I have forgotten, and then everyone else will see it. So these are the 2 colors for that. And where's my bag? And I'll show you the other colors. And these, this time, it's almost like a tweed. These colors I actually wound up. So here are my other 3 colors. I actually wound them up on my, and you'll see that, I'll put a picture. This was Tristan helping me do it. He's my 2-year-old grandson. So this is kind of like a purple and blue, and this is a blue. I love this one. This is like a blue and a beige, and this is a smaller blue and different color blues. So those are the next 3 colors to go into the triangulum. So then, so that's a triangle. So the next thing I did was, so if you for a second look at these colors, I decided for these 2 leftovers, I made a pair of socks, mini socks, small socks, like just little ankle socks. Loved these. I used white in between those. And this pair, I tried to keep all one color. And they turned out really nice. Here's a picture, finished, of them. And this one, I didn't want to make another pair of socks. So I decided to make a cowl. So there's the colors to remember. And what I did was I am making the owl cowl by Kay Jones, not a relation of Ellie Jones, of the Bakery Bears. This is a free pattern. And it is such a nice thing to knit. So here's how it looks. It doesn't bubble like that. That's just the way they've set it up. Let me see if I can find another picture where it's straight there. So you'll see it's just flat with these lovely eyelets in it. And I ummed and ahed about doing brown in between or white, because as you know, I love white. And I thought it would be, and because the other 2 blankets have had the whites in between them, I thought, just keep the whole theme going. But I had a couple of really interesting comments of giving me different ideas to use for colors in between, because a lot of people said don't use the brown, and the white would wash the colors out, which I thought was a great advice. So I ended up going with purple. And of course I love purple. So here is the first color that I'm doing. And so your first thing that you're doing on this, and it's all done on a 16-inch circular needle, believe it or not. And just so you know, they're square. They're actually very interesting to knit with. And they're supposed to be ergonomic. They're supposed to help you if you have sore hands. But anyway, so you start out, of course, with your double ribs. Actually, it's a triple. It's a really interesting. It's knit 3, purl 3. And I normally do knit 2, purl 2, but I really like the effect. And then here is the start of that color coming in. And now I've done my 2 rows of sort of pattern, and then the rest of it is going to be, doesn't it look little? Believe me, it will fit me. I made my other one on these needles and was so surprised by the time I took it off how big it was to go over your head. Because you can't imagine that's going to go over your head, can you? But it does. So yeah, now I just have to knit a bunch of rows. So that's kind of lovely, easy TV watching project. So yes, that's good. So that's my Thursday knitting night, where I work on the owl cowl. And then Saturday's a sweater day. And Saturday I am making the Flax sweater pullover, I think you call it here, for my grandson. And this is where I'm at so far. Oh, look at this. It is super, super cool. It's a really easy pattern to follow. It's very straightforward. You start at the neckline and you work down the sleeves, which have this beautiful garter stitch. And I actually have one exactly the same color. So we're going to matchy match, me and Tristan. And it makes me feel when I wear it like I've got pips on my shoulders, you know, like as if I'm somebody special. Of course I am. But I really am enjoying knitting this, because now I'm up to the point, after you break for the sleeves, it's just plain knitting. Now I have a little confession to make. I was watching the Maple Leafs lose last night in the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, and I was working on this, and in the instructions said continue in stocking stitch on the body for 9 inches. So I'm thinking it meant from here to here was 9 inches. So I start merrily working on the rib, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, that isn't going to fit him. That's too small. I'm making the 3-4-year-old size. And I thought, what am I talking about here? It was supposed to be 9 inches from the body, which is here to here, which is not 9 inches currently. So I had to take it all out, the 3 rows I'd done, pick up all my stitches, and that was it. I was done. But I did get a fair bit done, so it's coming along. So I'm hoping that next Saturday when I work on it, I might be able to actually do the 9 inches and get to the rib. So there you go. That was my oops for this week. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed today's video with all its bumps and, you know, warts and all, as they say. And come back next Monday if you just are interested in the knitting. If not, stick around on Wednesday. I will have Flush Tube. Tomorrow is clue 5 of the mystery kit I'm making. And Friday's Quilty Fun. So yeah,